So, if he walks up to you, that's the approach. Like pretend he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Pet him. So yeah, like here we are, just talking about the same thing we were a moment ago. How to hold the guitar. We want it sitting in this juxtaposition, not the oops and fell down there. And then we're achieving that by slinging your arm around the instrument, such as this bone, which if you remind me the name of for your next lesson, you're a boss. It shouldn't feel like you have to push down per se. You're just resting that part of your arm on the instrument, which as opposed to my arm's more out in front of the instrument, locked in, which is what most people tend to do at first. And then we have this very like heavy-handed arm way of strumming. So there we go. And the instrument sits like this, not all slipped down there. And there we go. I can't believe how many people don't say that. First and foremost, here's how you hold the instrument. So then we talked about left thumb position, and the trapping for you is going to be going either one of two things. You're going to go classical position, know this, and you just want to eliminate that stuff from your process by just like pretending this is a totally new instrument where no sound will emit from it unless you just go like, this is how I'm playing. Or worst case scenario, go, this is too far and correct, or any of that. But the point is, don't wire into your process accidentally, not this or this, but this. And the more you can remind yourself to move your elbow away from your body, just like the more time you can spend on getting ready, the less time practice will take, and the less apt you will be to develop bad habits, because this is too much to think about consciously all at once when you start playing. So cool. Then we talked about strumming, how it's a much wider range of motion than how the guitar looks, implies. We're not just going, that'll always sound kind of shitty, we're going. So yeah, one fluid motion. Here's how I'm holding the pick. Just like you are. Just make sure you don't accidentally start switching it to your second finger. That's not something I saw you do. It's just a common thing that people do exactly that way. It's all good. If you find your other finger supporting it, that's fine. So yeah, some wrist, some arm. It's probably felt very arm in that position. Cool. So before we do anything that's actually trying to play, why don't you just pause your video and try just like I am playing a chord, down, up, just don't even worry about playing a rhythm, just interact with the instrument in this position a little bit. The most boring thing you can think of is the best, because again, you want to be consciously focused on what you're doing. Alright, new subsection on the page. I've explained tablature. No big deal, it looks upside down. Start at the bottom line when we actually get to new chords and just go up one at a time, make the shape. I'm just going to use the E, because, or N or G, whichever, it doesn't matter. So our first rhythm that we're practicing, just for like getting this down, is all down. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can at first not even be playing in rhythm. The trip is, there's this wind up and I hit all the strings with the same amount of attack and velocity of the golf swing analogy versus. So you can be like, I land my pickup and I wind up, and you're gonna start up here and end all the way down there. Then just work on some down strums, and then work up to. And I don't want you to just keep doing it. I want you to go for, I can do 4 total strums, like 1 measure, pause, 1 measure, pause, until that becomes easy, given this is pretty easy inherently, and then move on to, I'm doing it looped. That's going to be our approach to every rhythm. I'll try to remind you one more time in the video. Rhythm 2. Down, up, down, up. Before you even think about that, just go down, up a couple times. Cool. So, cool. And that's you. And it can be like, this can be the tempo. It does not matter. Or you can be pausing if the whole trip is getting used to this wider range of motion. Cool. So that's rhythm 2. Stop and get good at those two. And I'm going to actually just bang out this last one before I go get my power source, and I'll do this in 2 parts. Our third rhythm is half of the first rhythm, half the second rhythm. Down, 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 up, down, up. And then, so yeah, stop, get good at that, same process, 1 good one, then actually trying to do it twice, then looping it, and only then doing it. The first time you try this, you'll already be good at the first 2 rhythms as well. Rhythm 4 is the one that's in the song. So, lest my computer run out of battery. I'm gonna cut this here and grab my power supply and make it part 2.